Welcome back to the second part of episode 2, Building Structure, where we take a deeper dive into quizzes. I love quizzes in Canvas. We've already talked about the settings. We set a time limit, we allowed multiple attempts, we've selected whether to keep the highest score, we've given it a due date, we've given it a password so it's protected so that the students cannot take this quiz at home unless they have the password. If you want to make this asynchronous, simply deselect the password and save. So we've went through those settings in the previous part of episode 2. What I want to do now is when we're editing, notice the two tabs at the top. We have details and questions. Details is where we started. Then let's go into questions. In questions, I love using question groups. The reason I love using question groups because of asynchronous work. Students are home. You're going to try and increase the accountability of the quiz. Question groups is your best option, in my opinion. So let's create, just for the sake of simplicity, 3 separate groups. We're going to select multiple choice. We're going to create the group. Then we're going to create a new group, and in this group we're going to have true or false. Okay, create the group. And we're going to do one more group, and for this one we're going to put short answer. Okay, create the group. All right. Now, we're going to add some questions to each group. Okay? So, let's just go to, we'll just call this question A. Give it some answers. Okay, we'll update that question. All right, so we have question A. For the sake of time, I'll be quickly making 2 other questions in the exact same way. Then we'll go to true and false. We'll go question D. Now, at the top, we're not going to do multiple choice. We're going to say true or false. So now we just have the 2 options. We'll say question D is true. Update that question. I'll write 2 other questions, but to save time, I'll just go ahead and go to the short answer group. We're going to add a short answer question. So here we're going to pick essay question. All right? We're going to ask our students to actually type an answer into the box. We'll just call this prompt 1, update question, and I'm going to go ahead and do a prompt 2 right now. Prompt 2, and notice that's an essay question. All right. All right, so now we have 3 multiple choice questions. Question A, question B, question C. We have 3 true and false questions. Question D, E, and F. Then we have 2 short answer questions. Prompt 1, prompt 2. If you select Show Question Details, it's going to show you the question and it's going to put the arrow by the correct answer. For some reason, question C is not listed here. Oh, that's because nothing's there. There we go. Yeah, so it's just kind of a good way to check and make sure that you have added the necessary fields to each question. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and deselect this right now so we can see the structure of this quiz. At the top, we have multiple choice with 3 questions. True and false with 3 questions. Short answer with 2 questions. Now, you can add as many question groups and as many questions as you would like, but for the purpose of this, I just want to talk about this feature. If you go to the multiple choice group and click on the pencil, you can tell Canvas that you want Canvas to randomly assign 2 questions out of these 3. So we're talking about adding some accountability to the learning environment at home. One way to really do this is to build groups of questions and randomly assign a certain amount of those questions to the students. You can do it the same thing again with the true and false questions, your true and false group. We're going to edit and we're going to say, hey, out of these 3 questions, we're going to select 2 of those 3. Maybe each group has 10 questions and you randomly choose 6 or 7 or 3. And then again with short answer, maybe I want to guarantee that all of the students answer both of the writing prompts. So I can go ahead and edit this and I can say pick 2 questions. And maybe I want this to be a 10-point assignment. So I'm going to make each of these worth 3 points and say update group. So we have 6 points here because they're automatically going to be assigned both of these questions because there's only 2 questions here. If you wanted to add a 3rd question and randomly assign 2, you would just put a new prompt in. I can do that right now. You can just say prompt 3 and make this an essay question. Update it. So now I'm picking 2 questions of the 3 prompts and it's going to be 3 points per question. Here is going to be 2 questions at 1 point per question. With the multiple choice, we'll have 2 questions at 1 point per question for a 10-point quiz. Let me go into the student view to show you how this looks for students. Actually, I think I can just hit preview. So notice what we did in the quiz. Here, notice these are 2 randomly selected multiple choice questions of the 3. Here, these are randomly selected true and false questions from the 3 created. And then finally, we had the 3 prompt questions. It randomly assigned prompt 3 and prompt 2. It tells the students how many points that question is worth. Pretty nice. So, I really like quizzes in Canvas, especially now that students are working at home individually. You still can assign some quizzes that have some accountability built in. I hope this was helpful. This concludes episode 2, Building Structure.